The Galactic Combat Arena's emergency protocols activated for the first time in 17,000 years when the humans stepped into the kill zone wearing sneakers and eating a granola bar. Arena Master Zilax's primary and secondary hearts both stopped for exactly 2.3 seconds as every safety system in the facility began screaming warnings simultaneously. The neural interface embedded in his cerebral cortex flooded with red alerts, each one more catastrophic than the last. Unprecedented biological readings, safety protocols insufficient, recommend immediate evacuation, survival probability 0.03%. Absolutely not, Zilax hissed into his communicator, his mandibles clicking with agitation. Halt the match immediately. Override code Alpha Terminus 9. Override rejected. Champion rights invoked. Match proceeds as scheduled. Across the arena floor, Mia Garcia finished her granola bar, crumpled the wrapper into her pocket, and started doing casual hamstring stretches like she was preparing for a morning jog instead of facing Korvax the Unstoppable. According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. A warrior who had literally never lost a match in 473 consecutive battles. Is there a water fountain around here? Mia called up toward the observation deck, shading her eyes against the arena lights. I forgot my bottle in the shuttle. Korvax, a mass of corded muscle and chitinous armor standing 9 feet tall, stared at the small human female with what might have been confusion if his species possessed facial expressions beyond aggressive and extremely aggressive. In the emergency observation gallery that had just materialized via quantum tunnel, 7 members of the Galactic Council pressed against the reinforced viewing screen like younglings at an aquarium. Someone explain to me, High Counselor Vex Thule demanded, his thermal vents flaring with distress, how a human was cleared to enter the arena. She filled out the registration forms correctly, Zilax replied weakly. There's no species restriction clause. The arena has existed for 17,000 years. No one ever considered that a species would be suicidal enough to register if they couldn't survive. Her profession is listed as physical education teacher, one of the junior analysts reported, voice trembling. She works with juvenile humans. The gallery went silent. She trains human warriors, Vex Thule whispered. No, sir. She supervises recreational activities for ages 5 through 11. 5 through 11, Vex Thule repeated slowly. That's their developmental stage. Yes, High Counselor. Down in the arena, the opening klaxon sounded. Korvax moved with the speed and precision that had made him arena champion for 17 standard years, his primary striking blade extending from his forearm with a metallic shriek that had preceded the deaths of countless opponents. Mia tilted her head slightly, shifted her weight to her back foot, and casually stepped to the left. Korvax's strike, which had been calculated by his neural combat processors to intersect with her center mass in 0.7 seconds, passed through empty air so cleanly that the displacement didn't even disturb her ponytail. Okay, wow, Mia said, turning to face him with her hands on her hips. That was definitely excessive force for a friendly match. Do you guys not have, rules about proportional response? Korvax recalculated. His combat AI had 17,000 stored attack patterns, each one refined through centuries of arena combat. He selected pattern 847 Omega, a 3-strike combination that approached from multiple vectors simultaneously. Mia ducked under the first strike, stepped inside the second, and leaned back from the third with the casual ease of someone avoiding a slowly thrown ball. You're telegraphing, she said helpfully. Like, a lot. Your shoulder drops before every swing. In the observation gallery, Vex Thule's thermal vents were now cycling so rapidly he was creating a localized weather pattern. Get me combat analysis, now. The arena's AI projected holographic data streams across every available surface. Probability matrices spiraled into nonsensical configurations. Predictive algorithms crashed and rebooted in cascading failures. Her reaction speed is within normal parameters for human biology, an analyst reported, voice cracking. But she's moving before Korvax commits to his attacks. She's not reacting, she's predicting. That's impossible, Zilak said. Korvax's attack patterns are generated by quantum processors, analyzing 17,000 variables per second. Nothing biological can predict them. On the arena floor, Mia was now actively looking bored. Korvax had cycled through 47 different attack combinations in 3 minutes, each one more sophisticated than the last, and hadn't come within 6 inches of touching her. "Are we doing this all day?" Mia called up to the observation deck. "Because I have dinner reservations at 6, and I heard the Andromeda district has amazing noodles." Korvax, in what might have been desperation, activated his ceremonial weapons, blades rated to cut through starship hulls, powered by contained plasma cores that burned at temperatures exceeding stellar coronas. Mia's eyes widened. Okay, that seems really dangerous for an indoor sport. She proceeded to dodge 17 strikes that should have been physically impossible to avoid, treating each one like an inconvenient fly buzzing near her face. "This is just like dodgeball with the kindergarteners," she muttered, "except you guys wind up like cartoon characters before you throw." The match ended when Korvax, exhausted and overheated from cycling through every combat protocol in his biological and technological arsenal, simply collapsed. His systems hadn't failed. He'd just never had to fight for more than 90 seconds before, and his stamina protocols had never accounted for extended combat against an opponent who couldn't be hit. Mia walked over and checked his pulse. "He's fine, just needs water and electrolytes." "You got sports drinks here?" Zilax's communicator was now receiving emergency calls from 7 different galactic military commands, 4 major combat academies, and the High Council's Strategic Warfare Division. "Round 2 begins in 10 minutes, the arena AI announced cheerfully. "No," Zilax said firmly. "Absolutely not. I'm invoking emergency session clause." "I'm registered for the full tournament," Mia interrupted, reading something on her datapad. "Says here I can't withdraw without forfeiting my entrance fee, and that was like 400 credits. Do you know how much that is in Earth dollars?" She signed up for round 2 at the registration kiosk while drinking from the water fountain she'd located near the eastern entrance. Her next opponent took one look at the replay footage of her first match and formally withdrew, citing technical difficulties with his combat implants. The opponent after that refused even to enter the arena. By the time round 3 rolled around, Vexthul had assembled the Galactic Combat Federation's entire expert panel in the observation gallery. 17 of the galaxy's foremost combat specialists stared at the holographic replays with expressions ranging from confusion to existential horror. "Show me the quantum analysis again," demanded combat theorist Jotaro, his optical clusters flickering with distress. The replay ran in slow motion, breaking down each microsecond of movement. Korvax's attack patterns appeared as predicted trajectory cones, thousands of possible paths calculated in real time. Mia's movements appeared as simple red lines that somehow threaded through gaps that didn't exist until she created them by moving. "She's not faster," Jotaro said slowly. "She's not stronger. She's predicting attack vectors that haven't been selected yet by quantum processors." "That violates causality," someone whispered. "No," Vexthul said, his voice tight. "It violates our understanding of combat. There's a difference." He activated the communications channel to the arena floor, where Mia was now stretching her calves against the barrier wall. "Human Mia Garcia, I formally request you explain your combat methodology." Mia looked up, surprised. "Combat methodology? I'm not doing combat anything. I'm just not getting hit." "How are you predicting the attacks?" "Predicting?" Mia laughed. "I'm not predicting anything fancy. You guys just have really obvious tells." Explain, Vexthul said tightly. Okay, so like, Mia thought for a moment. You know how when someone's about to throw something, they look at what they're going to throw at, then their shoulder moves back, then their weight shifts, then they wind up? You guys do all of that before every attack. It's like watching someone telegraph a punch from 3 steps away. The entire observation gallery went silent. You're reading body language, Chitaro said slowly. Well, yeah. How else would you do it? Mia paused. Wait, do you guys not do that? Our species, Vexthul said carefully, evolved as ambush predators. We strike from concealment without warning. Our combat forms are designed to minimize observable preparation. Huh, Mia considered this. But you still have to, like, commit your weight and move your center of gravity before striking, right? Physics? Yes, but those movements occur in microseconds. Right, but the setup happens before that. The decision to attack shows up in posture like half a second before the actual attack, Mia demonstrated, shifting her stance slightly. See? Even before I move, my weight is already transferring. If you're watching for it, it's super obvious. One of the combat analysts pulled up anthropological data on human evolution. High Counselor, I think I understand. Humans evolved as persistence hunters and pack coordinators. They tracked prey for days using minimal visual cues. Their pattern recognition evolved to read intention from body language. They coordinated in groups by reading each other's micro-movements. To read intention from body language before action occurs, Vexthul finished, his voice hollow. They don't have faster reflexes. They have predictive modeling based on millions of years of evolution tracking minute physical tells. But that means, Jotaro said slowly, that every combat form in the galaxy, every attack pattern, every martial discipline, all of it is optimized against opponents who react to attacks, not opponents who see attacks coming before they happen. We've been practicing telegraphed combat for 17,000 years, Zilax whispered, and calling it sophisticated warfare. It gets worse, the analyst continued, data streams flowing across his display. Humans don't just read body language for hunting, they use it for social coordination. Every human is constantly reading and broadcasting intention through posture, micro-expressions, and movement patterns. It's unconscious, automatic. They're all doing this? Vexthul asked. Every human. It's how they communicate non-verbally, High Counselor. It's fundamental to their social structure. Down in the arena, Mia was called up for round 3. Her opponent, a Xylarian combat master with 400 years of experience, lasted approximately 90 seconds before Mia politely tapped him on his third shoulder cluster and suggested he might want to ice that after the match. You dropped your left guard every time you prepared a high strike, she explained helpfully. Really obvious pattern. The Xylarian stared at her. I have trained for 4 centuries to eliminate all readable patterns from my combat form. Yeah, but you still shift your weight before striking, Mia said. Can't really avoid that without falling over. Round 4 never happened. The scheduled opponent, a decorated war hero from the Kryn Dominion, watched 30 seconds of Mia's previous matches and respectfully declined to participate. I have killed in 17 major conflicts, he announced to the arena. I will not be humiliated by someone who thinks this is dodgeball. By round 5, the tournament officials were in complete chaos. No one would fight her. The prize purse was already funded. The crowds, word had spread across 3 sectors, were demanding to see the human fight. Zilax made an executive decision. I'll fight her myself. Arena Master, you haven't competed in 40 years. I'm still registered as a combat-eligible participant. I have the right. Zilax began strapping on ceremonial armor that hadn't been worn since his youth. Besides, I need to understand this. Truly understand it. The match was brief and educational. Zilax, who had been arena champion before retiring to administration, used every technique he'd learned in 60 years of combat training. He employed feints, misdirection, quantum-encrypted attack selection, even randomized his breathing patterns to eliminate any predictive tells. Mia dodged everything while explaining what he was about to do before he did it. Okay, so you're feinting left, but your eyes tracked right, which means, yep, right hook. Now you're setting up for a leg sweep. I can see your weight dropping. Oh, that's interesting. You're using some kind of randomizer for attack selection? Doesn't matter though, your body still has to commit to the movement, and that happens before your processor finishes. Yeah, like that. Zilax stopped attacking. He simply stood in the center of the arena, breathing heavily, experiencing what might have been the first existential crisis of his long life. How? He asked simply. How what? How can you see movements that I don't know I'm making until after you've already responded to them? Oh, Mia's face lit up with understanding. You're thinking about it backwards. I'm not seeing the movements. I'm seeing you decide to make the movements. Your brain decides, then your body prepares, then your body moves. I'm reading step 2. By the time you get to step 3, I'm already gone. But the time between decision and movement is microseconds. For the actual movement, yeah, but the setup? That takes longer. Your muscles have to tense, your weight has to shift, your balance has to adjust. That all happens before the strike. It has to. Physics. Zilax turned to look up at the observation gallery, where Vexthul and the entire combat analysis team were frantically taking notes. We never had to hide our setup, Zilax said slowly. Our opponents couldn't read it. It happened too fast for reaction-based combat. Right, Mia agreed, but I'm not reacting. I'm predicting. Totally different thing. And you teach this to children? I mean, not formally. Kids just kind of pick it up. You have to when you're coordinating with 20 other kids in a game. You learn to see who's about to throw, who's about to dodge, who's about to fake. It's just playing. Playing, Zilax repeated. Yeah, for fun. The arena went completely silent. Somewhere in the observation gallery, someone started laughing, then another. Within seconds, 17 of the galaxy's most decorated combat specialists were experiencing the breakdown that comes from realizing your entire professional field has been fundamentally misguided for longer than some civilizations have existed. Vexthul's voice cut through the chaos. Human Mia Garcia, I formally declare you arena champion by unanimous decision. Your prize credits will be transferred immediately. Oh, cool. Mia checked her data pad. Yeah, I can still make my dinner reservation. Thanks for the tournament. This was a fun afternoon. She collected her trophy, a crystalline structure that caught the light beautifully, and headed for the exit. Wait, Vexthul called down. One more question. You mentioned teaching children. How many children do you typically supervise at once? In my PE classes, usually about 25 to 30. And they're all moving unpredictably? Oh yeah, kids are chaos incarnate. Way harder to predict than you guys, actually. They don't know proper form yet, so they come from weird angles. You manage 30 simultaneous chaotic actors, Jotaro said faintly, as your baseline difficulty level. I mean, it's just kindergarten PE, Mia said. They're 6 years old. It's not that hard once you get used to it. She left the arena eating some form of alien ice cream she'd purchased from a vendor, chatting on her communication device about noodle restaurants, and completely oblivious to the fact that she'd just rendered 17,000 years of galactic combat doctrine completely obsolete. In the observation gallery, Vexthul convened an emergency session. Conclusions, he said simply. Jotaro spoke first. Humans evolved pattern recognition and predictive modeling as survival traits. They can read intention from minimal physical tells. What we call combat expertise, they call basic social awareness. They train this ability through recreational chaos management, another analyst added, with children, starting at age 5. Every human has this capability, Vexthul asked. To varying degrees, yes, High Counselor. It's fundamental to their psychology. then every combat doctrine, every military strategy, every tactical framework we've developed, all of it is based on opponents who can't do what humans do naturally. Yes, High Counselor. Vexithul was silent for a long moment. Draft a Priority 1 communication to all galactic military commands, every combat academy, every warfare institute, every tactical school. What should we tell them, High Counselor? The truth, that we've been preparing to fight warriors and humans evolved to manage chaos. We optimized for speed and power. They optimized for prediction and adaptation. We built better weapons. They built better awareness. What do? We redesign everything. Vexthul looked down at the empty arena floor. And we ask Earth if they have any more physical education teachers available. If humans learn combat prediction by managing children's games, then perhaps we need to learn how children's games work. 3 months later, every major military academy in the galaxy had sent formal recruitment requests to Earth for chaos management specialists and predictive coordination trainers. The humans, confused but helpful, sent PE teachers. The teachers arrived expecting to maybe run some workshops on teamwork and coordination. Instead, they found themselves elevated to master-level strategic consultants, teaching career military officers how to play dodgeball, read body language, and manage unpredictable group dynamics. It's just tag, one bewildered teacher from Nebraska reported back to Earth. They're treating tag like it's advanced tactical training. It is, the Galactic Combat Federation replied seriously. You've been teaching warfare fundamentals to 6-year-olds and calling it recess. The galaxy would never be the same. Mia Garcia, meanwhile, was back in her elementary school gymnasium teaching 27 kindergartners how to play dodgeball without crying. When her principal asked how her vacation was, she just smiled and said, "Pretty good. Won a tournament. Got this cool trophy. The noodles were amazing." "That's nice, dear," the principal said absently, signing off on supply orders and completely unaware that 3 civilizations had restructured their entire military doctrines based on techniques Mia used to keep 6-year-olds from bonking each other with rubber balls. In the galactic combat arena, Zilax installed a new plaque near the main entrance. It read, "The arena was built for warriors." Then a teacher showed us we'd been doing it wrong for 17,000 years. Below that, someone had added in smaller text, "She was just there for the noodles." And at the very bottom, in letters that seemed almost apologetic, "Humans train their children in what we call master-level tactical awareness. They call it playing. We are not prepared for this species." The plaque remained there for the next 1,000 years, a reminder that sometimes the most devastating combat advantage isn't a weapon at all. It's the ability to see what's coming and casually step aside while asking if anyone knows where the good restaurants are. Mia kept her trophy on her desk at school. Her students thought it was pretty cool. She never did tell them she'd accidentally revolutionized galactic warfare. She figured they wouldn't really get it. They were, after all, only 6.